Last night it looked like the rivers might jump their banks. The Wilson was running strong, sweeping away debris and rising, inching up on protective seawalls, threatening to go over when the high tide hit. But the rain slowed and flooding was kept to a minimum. This morning, though, it was obvious water was high. Even at low tide, there wasn't much beach left at Pacific City as ocean swells tore in. And storm warnings stayed up on the north coast, telling of more possibly heavy rain. Already more than 3 inches of rain had come down, along with some very heavy winds. Winds that had already flipped over one trailer in Rockaway. That had caused some damage, though the usual, flooding out fields and meadows in low spots. Many residents were worried, especially those right on the rivers.
I heard reports that it was supposed to crest at midnight, and I kept my eye on the river, and I don't think it's going to happen yet. We need a little bit more rain before it does.
You think we got off pretty lucky this time?
Yeah, it's been a close call.
Today's noontide was the one long-timers were watching, though. That's when high waters caused the most problems. This boat ramp disappearing as the river joined the road. In Nehalem, cresting rivers and flood tide brought the water route into town, creating some problems with blocked roads and isolated businesses. But people here expected as much, and after a little hesitation, it was definitely business as usual. Some type of flooding happens a couple of times a year here. These people have seen much worse. For them, this was only a wet spell. In Rockaway, it was the same story. Several homes became islands as waters rose around them, cutting them off, turning front yards into swirling pools several feet deep. Yet despite that, almost all took it in stride and stayed. One man we talked with, Henry Beale, said he might stay, then again he might not. His attitude pretty well summed up the feelings of most people on the coast.
Yeah, this is nothing. I've been snowed in a isolated cabin about 4 miles from town, and this is nothing compared to that. Oh. Every place has its advantages and disadvantages, and one of the advantages of a place like this is that the property is a lot cheaper.
This is as high as the water got, and most people on the coast have a pretty nonchalant attitude. They've seen it all happen before. But they also know there'll be high tides all this week, and they've seen what's been going on up in Washington. That's why, despite an apparent calm attitude, everybody's watching the rain and hoping the rivers don't get any higher. From Nehalem, on the Oregon coast, this is Bill Van Amberg for Channel 2 News.